What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to your favorite pond, the Coy Pond, episode 130. As you might have noticed, this week we're doing another remote episode with how many thrilling topics there are to talk about the NFL. We're kind of reflecting that on the effort this week, but you know what? We're still talking NFL. I don't know enough about the NBA to really give any takes that really would matter to anybody that watches the NBA. But that being said, as you can see, I'm joined by my friend. He's your friend. He's our stand-in Cowboys fan, Matt, for another glorious episode of the Coy Pond. As you guys know, you can follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, and don't forget to leave a question on SpeakPipe. Plenty of fantasy stuff, dynasty stuff coming up this season, this offseason, this summer, if you will. And you know what? We'll answer any and every question that you have regarding the NFL. But that being said, this week, we are getting into a little way too early power rankings, and we're reacting. Note, this is not our power rankings list. Actually, you should know that because it's on ESPN. If we were writers on ESPN, I don't think we would be doing this. That is for damn sure. But nevertheless, there's some pretty interesting takes. This is technically written by what's NFL Nation. I think it's 32 different writers. So we can't pin it on one person to be brain dead this week. It's kind of, I would assume, to be
a group of brain dead people.
A group of brain dead people, exactly.
So
that being said, let's just jump right into it. I don't think there's been much NFL news aside from, I think, the refs, the NFL Reffing Association, or whatever their acronym is getting closer to signing the deal, which means there wouldn't be a strike this season, which is a huge deal for NFL, but more of the NFL as a league, so that we don't have to deal with Division 3 and 4 and high school refereeing, which that would be terrible. And we've talked about it before on the podcast, but no need to beat a dead horse. It sounds like they might be getting close to it. So, that being said, NFL Nation power ranked the Dolphins as the way too early worst team in the league. And that being said, apologies to our Dolphins fan across the pond that occasionally comments on the videos during the NFL season. I don't think this is much of a surprise. They lost a lot of talent in free agency. They have who's the quarterback now? Oh my God, Malik Willis.
Malik Willis, yep.
Well, he's just signed with the Dolphins. Yep, Tua's gone, and essentially this is Waddle's gone. They've just lost so much, and obviously a head coach too they got rid of, which wasn't working, which is that's how it is. The Chargers signed him as an offensive coordinator, so I'm going to be careful how I choose my words there. But at the end of the day, they've lost a lot of talent. This is definitely going to be a couple rebuilding years, and I think the contract with Tua tied them up financially for some bit of time, sadly. So I hate to say it, but I think this is a pretty fair ranking for the Dolphins. Obviously, they'll have games they look fine in, but I don't think anybody's looking for the Dolphins to do much this year. They've got a lot of things out of their control as of right now.
Also doesn't help that they technically have the 31st hardest, or the second hardest schedule next year, I believe it is, or technically.
Yeah. Yeah. If you reference the strength of schedule based on Vegas forecasted win totals, and we'll reference this a few more times because I think Sharp Football had this. I don't know if someone else put it on Reddit, but this always pops up, and someone finally did it for the upcoming season as of right now. The Dolphins, we'll talk about the Cardinals in a bit, but the Dolphins are not looking. This isn't great to start. This is not the forecasted, key, but oh my God, this is not a great indicator early. 31, we got the New York Jets. I didn't get an interception on defense last year. Aaron Glenn, defensive mastermind. You hate to see this. They did have some great picks in the draft. I don't think that's bad. They also had good pickups in free agency. Not bad at all. But it's right now led by Justin Fields, who I like. I feel bad at how his career's been. It doesn't feel like he's gotten all the opportunities, but I don't think this is where he's going to find the best opportunity either, to be quite honest with you.
The shining light for the Jets is they're also in the division with the Dolphins. So
we will have a battle of the AFC least at some point this season, twice for that matter.
Love the 1 o'clock games.
And you know what? They'll probably split. But with how the NFL is, this will be a Thursday night primetime game in the second week of September. We'll have to see. But not ideal. I feel bad for the Jets. It feels like they were getting into a good position, and then it fell apart again. So we'll see where this season takes them. My first... Oh, wait, no, I had a story, actually, to start it off. Kevin will give more to this next week. It's appropriate that it's the Browns. Kevin got recognized for the first time for being on this podcast, and he'll say more about it. Scott, if you're watching the Coy Pond, I apologize that Kevin wasn't able to be with us today. He'll have plenty to say about it next week, but he was over the moon that someone recognized him from the podcast. It was a very cool moment, and appreciate all of you guys that watch, listen, subscribe, like, comment, hate, however you want to say it. I appreciate all of you for sure, and Kevin would say the same thing. This is the first spot I think I do not agree with. The Cleveland Browns had a great draft. I think they've made some smart moves in free agency. Like we've talked about last week, they had the rookie defensive player of the year last season. I think they are heading in a positive direction in the sense that maybe we haven't seen in a couple decades from the Browns, to be quite honest. But I have a little bit more faith in the Browns after they hung in some games last season. That defense is 100% top 5. And that being said, them building up and stacking their offense in the draft and in free agency, I think they're going to see it better. I mean, they didn't get the best season out of Jerry Jeudy last year, sadly. And Sanders was still figuring out how to be a quarterback in the NFL, which is beyond fair. And I think they'll be a better team this season. Obviously, Judkins did more. They might lose Njoku, but they have that other tight end on the team that had a lot of good moments this past season. You liked him a lot, Matt. I remember you took a lot of touchdowns with him.
I can't remember his name right now. I remember I did that a lot.
Was it
Harold Payton?
Yeah,
Harold Payton
that's
Jr.?
who it was.
Yeah.
But I liked them. I think 30 is too low, personally. I mean, if you look on the strength of schedule list, they're number 4. I'm not saying that means they're going to get to 10 wins, but I think 30th in the NFL for power rankings is a bit low, personally.
I agree with that. I don't know exactly where I'd put them. I would still want to put them like top half margin, but I put them around there between 16 and 20.
Yeah.
I'd say. It's just because they have to play the Bengals twice, Ravens twice, Steelers twice, and then I haven't looked at the rest of their schedule, but if they get the offense clicking, it'll be good.
Yeah, and the schedule hasn't come out yet, obviously, and we're not going to do a deep analysis this video. If you're looking for us to talk about your team and in-depth transactions, we've got that coming up on a division-by-division basis is what we're going to do this summer. But this is just a quick overview. This is a way too early reaction. Don't crucify me, but you can't hate me for my opinions. 29, Arizona Cardinals. I was sipping the Kool-Aid of this team last year. Kyler Murray disappointed. Kyler Murray's gone. But now it's looking like Jacoby Brissett, and I want to say they might have also signed a quarterback in the draft. But they signed someone. I can't remember who it was off the top of my head. But I think if the Cardinals stay healthy, they should be a better team. Jacoby Brissett he put on shows for Cardinals fans last season.
Yeah.
In games they shouldn't have been in, all of a sudden, Jacoby Brissett has scored 41 points. And you still have
McBride.
You still have Marvin Harrison Jr., even though he's not been maybe as flashy as people had hoped. They have a good team.
Somebody just need a year to get going, first year you go into a team that wasn't expected to be very good, change your quarterbacks halfway through the season, and then same with the running back injuries all throughout the season. They really never had a set groove. They're switching in and out personnel all the time.
They cycled the running backs unbelievable so much. I felt bad. That's not a great spot to find yourself in, let alone the whole fiasco with Kyler Murray was its own problem. Bit of a distraction, if I had to guess. Signing Tyler Algier is a great move for them. I think the Cardinals will hang in there. I think what puts them lower, and I don't necessarily agree with 29, but I don't know where else I'd put them, is that they're in the NFC West.
Yeah.
Seahawks, 49ers, and Rams is not a great 6 games you have to play every season. I think, the moves in the offseason they made are a step in the right direction. I think they've found themselves behind the 8 ball. And they're going to need a few years to get there. And maybe they'll time out so that the other 3 teams suck when they finally get a lot better. I think it's the right direction. It just means if it's not 29, it's not going to be higher than 25 in my power rankings, personally.
Yeah.
Raiders, 28. I have been afraid of how the Raiders have signed players this offseason. They got Linderbaum, I think it was, from the Ravens as well. Yep. They will have finally more of an offensive line. They get Mendoza, but they sign Kirk Cousins. Who knows who starts week 1? I would assume that's going to be Kirk Cousins. Don't come at me. That's just what I would assume with how these early quarterbacks have been recently when they have a veteran available. And, Brock Bowers, they still have, the running back. Why am I forgetting his name? Ashton Genty. They have weapons and they have good pieces. Last year was a dumpster fire with Pete Carroll. They literally signed a senile coach just to get him through a season for whatever reason that canned his ass. Tom Brady is going to be hands-on. Mark Davis, never going to get a better haircut. But I think the Raiders will do much better this season, and I'm honestly afraid of them to some extent with how the AFC West has been the last 2 years. That being said, I think they'll be much improved. I think 28's low. Again, I'd probably move them up a little bit. I think their ceiling's a lot higher this season, but again, you're playing the Broncos, the Chiefs, the Chargers. That's turned into a bit of more of a battle with the Chiefs regressing recently. So that's a hard 6 games to play, but I think they're going to find themselves in it a lot more this season.
I also think there's a big asterisk with Max Crosby, considering that he didn't want to be there. He asked him to get out. He got out and then brought back. Is he going to be nice in the locker room? Is he going to be cheerful? Is he not want to be there? So there's a whole thing with him too.
I think that makes him more mean, to be honest, because now he's officially not going to be going anywhere, but I could be wrong. I think the Raiders fans were probably happy how that turned out, undoubtedly. And
I agree.
I want to say they added a couple more pieces to their defense as well. So I'm a little worried about the Raiders. We'll have to see how that shakes out for them this season. Tennessee Titans at 27. Obviously struggled plenty in, the last season. Cam Ward had flashes of looking really good. I want to say that was one of the shining moments of the season for them. Obviously, getting Carnell Tate at 4 was an amazing pick for them. I think they did need some wide receiver depth. They signed Wan'Dale Robinson. Great pickup for them. They still have good running backs. Tony Pollard, Tajay Spears. I don't think they're not in a bad spot, and they get Robert Salah to try and fix that defense. Now, no one's been able to fix the Jets, so I kind of put an asterisk on any coach that's coached at the Jets over the last 5-6 years. So I don't think that's something to be worried about. And he didn't have any pieces to work with last season with the 49ers. But him being there, I think the defense is going to greatly improve, and them having a couple more weapons on offense, I think it's going to get real quick for the Titans. That division, again, not easy when you're playing the Colts, Texans, Jaguars, but that division is extremely volatile every season, it feels like. Colts came out hot and heavy last year, and it did not go their way. Same way the Jaguars came out swinging, and then didn't make it far in the playoffs. I think there's something to be said the Titans might have a shot at just being better. I don't want to suck too much dick, but, I think the Titans will be a better team.
I think I'm kind of opposite with you. I still think they're going to need a full year to really get moving again. I still think they're going to be bottom 5 team in the league.
Yeah, new coaching staff. I could see it. Much better for them, I think, means winning 7-8 games.
Yeah, that's fair.
In my head.
I mean, he was a rookie quarterback last year, but now he's going into this year with a bunch of brand new players he wasn't throwing to, everything like that. Yeah, the running back room's the same, but I don't know. I still feel like there's so much of a learning curve for that team to go up.
It's a young team. I don't doubt that. The Atlanta Falcons at 26. Lefty locker room, Michael Penix, Tua Tagovailoa. This will be interesting. I don't know if the tight end for them, Kyle Pitts, Jesus Christ. I don't know if he's going to be there still or not. I think I saw that at one point there was a bunch of rumors circulating if they're going to trade him or not trade him. Who knows what happens there. I will not be drafting many wide receivers or tight ends on the Falcons in fantasy this year. I have very little faith in Tua or Michael Penix. I think Bijan Robinson, as always, is going to be a beast and will will them to several wins this season, as well as that secondary the Falcons have. But I have no faith in their quarterback room at this very moment, personally. I think 26 might be gracious for them, given how that season went last year for them. Obviously, they get Kevin Stefanski as their head coach. I think that's a huge win for Falcons fans with how he did with the Browns. I am just worried that quarterback room is not going to be able to So hit the broadside of a barn.
I still feel like that division is a little going to be a little sneaky this year. I think the Panthers and Saints both improved a lot over the past 2 years. Saints are going to be better this year. I think Tyler Shook is pretty decent. And then the Bucks and them are still going to split 1-1 like they usually do, I feel like.
Yeah, the Bucks are always hanging in there.
No, speaking
of the devil, Saints right there as well. We kind of covered it. Honestly, I think this isn't a terribly high ranking for them. I think Shook was looking so much better as the season went on. They had some great picks in the draft. As long as their team can stay healthy, it'll be okay. But we'll have to see. It's oh my God, the old Chargers head coach Brandon Staley back there with Kellen Moore. They'll craft something up, and as Shook gets more confidence in the NFL, I think they'll do much better. They hung in games I didn't expect them to last season, so I think that's only going to help more. Minnesota Vikings. The landing spot for QB1 Kyler Murray. Justin Jefferson's a dog. Defensive coordinator is a dog. I don't know. I don't know what to think about the Vikings and where they are. Does Kyler Murray start? I'm assuming. J.J. McCarthy had a rough go at it initially last season, and then I think he finished pretty strong those last 4 or 5 games, if I'm remembering that correctly.
Yeah.
But they were all over the place. Aaron Jones wasn't doing as much as I thought he would. That T.J.
Hawkinson.
Molden, or something like that, the running back, backup running back, did pretty well. I don't know. I can't get a read on the Vikings. With how the Lions, Packers, and Bears performed, I don't know if I think they regress, but it's going to be, I think, a little bit more of a struggle than 24 suggests right now.
I agree with that. Yeah, I think this is their ceiling, honestly.
I think this is
a bit
of a reach.
But
yeah, I mean, the NFC North is a fickle place. We'll have to see how that pans out. 23, New York Giants. Obviously, they get one of the Harbaughs in the offseason. They make a splash move. Jackson Dart, Scatterboo, if they can hang out at the Blue Medical tent, look amazing. They pick up some beef on the offensive line. I think the Giants are going to be somewhat of a threat this season.
I think the Giants are going to be good this season. I think this is way too low. I think if everyone stays healthy, that's the asterisk, because Dart and Scatterboo are in and out of the tent. Same with Neighbors. If everyone stays healthy, I think they're going to be at least a top half team this year.
They need to stay healthy. I think plagued them last season, but also getting Dexter Lawrence out of that locker room, I think, was smart. It sounded like he wasn't happy last season, and who knows how many times that contributed to the games. With Harbaugh, he's not going to take shit. I think he has a bunch of players. Was it Isaiah Likely went from the Ravens to the Giants with him as well? So they're gonna have boys. Assuming that all the I won't say fame, that's the wrong word. All the success didn't go to either one of the rookies' heads. Not to mention they still have Malik Neighbors. That team's going to be a bit of a beast. And not beast. I should say I think they're going to do much better than what 23 suggests right now. If I had to place them, I'm going right on the cusp of the playoffs, wild card team. I'm thinking they're like 16, 17.
That's all right
now. Power rankings.
I mean, watching them last year, they just looked like they had so much fun all together and being young and that young core. Plus, their defense is pretty young too. With all the young guys meshing well, I think that's what's going to make them scary with the years to come. I think they'll grow a lot this year.
Yeah, I do too. Carolina Panthers at 22. Had a lot of success last year from what initially people thought they would do. Beat the Rams once, then I think lost to the Rams in the wild card round of the playoffs. Still put up a great performance. It was close. They can only go up from here. I don't really see a world being in that division of the NFC South. It'll be more competitive, I think, for them this year as well. But they're adding pieces. The fans are coming back. Carolina is a fun place to play right now with all the stuff they have going on. As long as Bryce Young can stay consistent, I like their odds. Obviously, I think they lost Dottle to someone else. I can't remember if it was the Steelers maybe that signed him. That sounds right to me.
I can't remember.
But they still have Hubbard, from what I can remember. So as long as they keep a good running game on that team, I think that'll help Bryce Young. And I don't hate 22. I might put him 20 or maybe a little higher than the Giants, I guess. I don't know. It feels like that
good spot.
Yeah, because I feel wrong putting the Giants above them. But for whatever reason, it feels like the Giants are immediately more of a complete team than the Panthers.
Exactly. I think the Giants are definitely more complete than the Panthers, but the Panthers had a little spunk to them last year, so if they can keep that rolling,
The fun and frisky Panthers.
oh, no, both
It, it
that division's just so. It wouldn't shock me if they
it's hit
swept
or
the division. It wouldn't shock me if they got swept by the division. It's
I completely agree. It's the NFC South, NFC East difference
yeah,
personally. 21 Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers have been in it. Obviously, no Mike Tomlin, so the going even in the postseason jokes will end. They'll either blow it out of the water or suck some tremendously. But no word yet on Aaron Rodgers. Like I've said on this podcast before, I don't think you'll hear about Aaron Rodgers doing anything until it's like a month before the season starts. He's not going to come to all the bullshit stuff the Steelers want him to. Steelers get Mike McCarthy, which is an interesting move, but I think it was an effort to keep Aaron Rodgers another season. And hopefully maybe Will Howard starts by the end of the season, if that's still their game plan to go from Aaron Rodgers to Will Howard. If not, Will Howard might get more of a start to the season that he might intentionally
expected.
Thank you. That's the word I was looking for.
I don't know. I feel like
getting Michael Pittman.
yeah, I feel like they definitely. I don't know. I think I said it last time I was on the episodes. I think they overpaid for Pittman, and I
Yeah.
think if Rodgers doesn't come back and they have to either start Penn State Drew Allard or Will Howard, one of those two, I think it's going to be a rough year for Pittsburgh, and I think Pittsburgh will be lower. If Rodgers
Yeah.
starts, I think 21's a fair ranking.
I'm curious to see how TJ Watt does this season. He had a bit of a he's been an amazing defensive player. Felt like he had a couple injuries last season.
The
If
long-
I'm remembering that. Yeah. So if he comes back fully healthy, that defense is still going to be rocking per normal. It's just offensively, are we going to get a classic Steelers team that's absolutely decimating quarterbacks and then also getting their quarterback decimated? Who knows? I think 21's a pretty fair ranking. I'd probably move them a little higher than that, but it kind of depends on if they have Aaron Rodgers, Will Howard, or the other guy. Indianapolis Colts at 20. I don't know what to make of this team anymore. They were so good at the beginning of last season, and then just kind of, everything fell apart quickly. Daniel Jones getting hurt, if I'm remembering that also correctly.
Daniel Jones got
Wasn't
hurt.
obviously, yeah, it wasn't great. Anthony Richardson has not turned out to be the player they had hoped, but they still went 10-1 and 12-2, whatever that might have been at the beginning of the season. So it's not like they're out of this, but missing the playoffs last season was terrible.
And
they
the problem-
did keep. Who did they? Go ahead.
I'm sorry. The problem is that they traded so many first-round picks for Sauce Gardner. They really
that's
didn't have
true.
very much draft capital this year. So it's not like they really improved too much in the draft. And I could be wrong, but I don't remember too many big names in the postseason as well when the trade block first
No.
happened. So I feel like they kind of stood where they're at. If they can get that magic back with Daniel Jones starting and everything going, but they did lose Pittman. So I feel like they
Yeah.
regressed last year from their peak, but just the Colts.
And- Yeah, we'll have to see. I don't want to act like I know this team enough.
That's exactly.
The injuries kind of got to them last season. Now they made some moves during the season that prevented them from making all of the moves in the off season. So it's going to have to just kind of see if that pays off or not.
I did see the owner's daughter, who was on the sidelines all last year, is now going to the booth, and that she wasn't going to be on the sideline anymore.
Well,
I don't know if that
good
was a
for her.
rumor, if that was true, but
Yeah,
I'm pretty
one of
sure I
her
saw that a few
daughters.
weeks ago. Yeah,
Well,
so that
I
might be a
mean,
difference too.
Personally, I think she's a badass. I commend her because it
Oh, I
seems like
agree.
she's all in on that team. And we'll have to see as they keep building. There was some phone call that people were saying where she was like, get ready to fucking play or something like that, like pretty intense on draft night. So I like the energy. Good energy in the gym. 19, Washington Commanders. Defense. Defense got better for the Commanders in the offseason for sure. They got Odafe Away, who played with the Chargers last season from the Ravens. He's a beast. They're going to immediately see a difference there. And then Clavon Chesson, however, I'm butchering the name, I'm sure, who I believe was on the Seahawks last season. So they immediately get a lot better on defense, and I think that's where their focus needs to be. Jaden Daniels will come back healthy. Offensively, I think they'll be able to make it work regardless. But the defense had to be addressed this offseason. And if they have that magic every other year, kind of similarly to the Bengals, I think they'll be just fine. And 19 might be more of a floor for them.
I think it also comes down to the injuries. Jane Daniels is in and out of that locker room, or the blue
Yep.
tent, the entire season. There's a few other big injuries too, if I remember correctly. I just can't remember. It's late.
It is. Set 18 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield's a dog, and they get Ruben Bain. So Tampa Bay had a great draft, and per normal, yes, they lose Mike Evans, but they'll be able to make that up wherever they need to. I think they re-sign. No, they lose K. Dotton. They kept K. Dotton.
I believe they kept Kate in, and
That's what I thought. The rest of the wide receivers. I mean, Baker Mayfield will make this work. That defense has been good enough. I think it's going to be an injury bug thing. 18 to me seems pretty fair for the Buccaneers. I think they could do really well, and I think they could have a really rough season.
Yeah, literally
That
on the bubble.
Yeah, it's that NFC South shit. Oh, baby. Bengals smack dab at 17. Joey Burrow will be back this season, and with it being an every other season type of team, I think the Bengals could probably make a Super Bowl push this season. They buffed up their defense. They had some great pickups in free agency. Yes, they give up the first round pick to Dexter Lawrence, or to the Giants for Dexter Lawrence. I think that was a great move for them, to be quite honest, with how Shamar Stewart turned out for them last year. I think the Bengals will be good this year. I think 17 is a floor for them. And I understand the Ravens, Steelers, and Browns being in that division. I think the Steelers are going to struggle offensively. I think the Ravens might struggle with the new head coach initially. Struggle's the wrong word. They might hiccup with it, but I think the Bengals having that offense are still going to be absolute dogs. And they just won't have to put up 50 points to win a game every week.
I think they did everything they needed to do in the postseason and the draft to get back to where they should be. I don't see, outside of the injuries, like I said, Joe Burrow. I said that for quite a few teams, but if Joe Burrow stays healthy,
it's real.
Line does what it's supposed to do, what they've signed them all for, then I think the Bengals can definitely make a late playoff push for sure.
Yeah. Oh, Dallas Cowboys at 16 get an absolute dog in the draft in Caleb Downs. Have a pretty good draft overall, and I mean, Matt, do you want to say it? Are the Cowboys making the Super Bowl this year?
I hate when people say it's our year. That's why I hear more non-Cowboys fans make fun of us for saying it's our year than I hear Cowboys fans say it's our year. But
I think there's some truth to that.
I do think the Cowboys are going to make playoffs. They're going to win the division this year. I think we improved massively from, same with the Bengals. We both had crazy offenses last year, horrible defenses. We did good job filling the defense, filled the gaps. As you said, we somehow got Caleb Downs, which is huge. I think we're going to have a good turnaround this year.
I think so too. I think the Cowboys are due for a pretty good season. I think last season defensively, Jerry took too long to make defensive plays. However, they are on the defense now. So going into the season, I think they're going to be starting in a much better spot. They franchise tag George Pickens. Having Pickens and CeeDee Lamb basically means you'll have a third wide receiver open. And you saw that a lot last season with Flournoy and like Schoonmaker and a couple other guys that had surprising weeks because it was really, if you have to try and cover Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, that's incredibly hard. 15, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Travis Hunter's back, being basically or primarily a cornerback this season is what they said. Trevor Lawrence gets another crack at it. They lose ETN. I don't know. The Jaguars, I thought, should have won the Super Bowl last season going into the playoffs. I was dead wrong about that. However, they have an amazing defense, a scary defense, and what should be a killer offense, and somehow it just never happens. I think 15 is a fair value for them, honestly, because you are playing the Texans and Colts and Titans. I just am waiting for one of these seasons for them to really pop off and have that season I've been expecting of them. And I don't know, that the head coach from the Buccaneers that went to the Jaguars, the Duval guy, yes, Liam Cohen. I think he's a great coach. I think this team's only on the up and up. I just want to see it back-to-back years. We'll have to see. I don't know. 15 feels valid for them. I think that realistically they could be 10 or 9. But they felt like so up and down last season, it was scary.
Something in my head will never be able to have Jacksonville be high on my rankings. I don't know what it is. There's something about them where I don't trust them.
You look at expansion teams and think they're less. I'm just kidding.
Yes.
But it's true. It's true because of how they've performed over the last several seasons. It's hard not to. 14, Los Angeles Chargers. Offensive line gets better. They draft a 25-year-old rookie. I think he's a dog, but you'll get one contract out of him. Justin Herbert, as per normal, goes 0-3 now in his career in the playoffs. I I need this team to win a playoff game, or there's going to have to be a serious conversation. I drank the Kool-Aid terribly last season and got absolutely blasted for it against the Texans, the Patriots. Now you lose Jesse Minter. Yes, you get Mike McDaniels. And I'm hoping we go from what was like a top 5 defense and a terrible offense to somewhere in the middle. It can be the 20th ranked defense if your team can score. But that Chargers offense was like watching a cripple try and get upstairs last season. It was atrocious. It hurt my soul to participate. And a lot of that you can attribute to the Joe Alt and Slater being out at the beginning of the season. That was just doom and gloom. But the PFF rankings that the Chargers had on that team, where there was out of 34 and you have the 41st worst player in that position.
Yeah.
God damn.
It was some boring football.
I think they made some great moves in the offseason. I think they actually had some great draft picks as well. That defense will still be dominant. And you know what? If Justin Herbert can just stay in the upright position like your tray table on an airplane, I'll feel confident. But the second that boy gets folded, I'm just accepting that he's going to retire at the end of the season.
There's your stat right there, by the way.
Maybe. What do you say?
Here's your stat right there. Bradley Bozeman ranked 30th out of 31st qualifying NFL centers.
Hitler's dead. He retired. It's so bad. But, you know, they did pick up a great center from the Commanders. I almost forgot about that. I did love that pickup. And you know what? We're just going to have to see. Jake Slaughter, I had him in a bunch of mock drafts myself.
That's a great jersey.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get the Slaughter and Will Clapp jersey combo. Houston Texans, 13. The defense gets even better for the Texans this offseason. They make a couple good moves on the offensive line, which was a clear problem for them last season. They kind of found it in those running back duo. I can't remember who he was. Yep, thank you, Woody. And, you know, Nico Collins needs to stay healthy. You know, the playoff game for them was a bit damning. Felt like I was looking into a mirror and it was the Chargers, but the Texans will be fine. D'Amico Ryans, the head coach for the Texans, he's gonna coach a great team. The Joe Mixon not there anymore technically. I think they did grab someone else though, but the Texans will be just fine.
It's all eyes on C.J. Stroud this year. After the whole postseason where he had 2 touchdowns for 7 interceptions or something. I can't remember the exact stat. It's all eyes on him if he can rebound from that or not. Because that team's defense could carry you to the Super Bowl as long as you don't turn the ball over 4 times in a game.
Shaking on that snap against the Patriots was damning, but it happens. Getting Cade McDonald in the second round in that draft, steal. Ooh, and the fun stuff. Kansas City Chiefs. Not a great year for them last season. Now they go and they get Kenneth Walker. Incredible. Isaiah Pacheco gone. I think he's with the Lions now. Kansas City, I think, did well. They're going to be okay. It sounds like Patrick Mahomes might even be back for week 1, so it's not even as bad as it could have been with how long he'd be out with that Achilles tear. We'll see offensively how it works. They got Eric Bieniemy back, which is going to be a key piece for this Chiefs offense going forward. Andy Reid has his coaches back. Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce have their coach back. I think that's going to carry more than most people would assume, even though I don't think it's not been talked about. Last year was rough. It was a rough showing from the Chiefs, and now you lost some key corners and safeties in free agency. I think we're going to see more of an offensive team and lesser of a defense that can stop so many scores. But I could be wrong about that. The Chiefs will be the Chiefs. It's Andy Reid coach team.
Exactly.
12, I think, is low.
It's the recency bias. Just because they had a bad year last year doesn't mean they're not going to bounce back. That's the scary part. They know what they need to do.
Yeah, they've been there, done that. Last year was just an off year. Detroit Lions at 11. Some injury-ridden team last year per normal. Most teams are, but they were especially. They get some good draft picks on the offensive line and Pacheco to match with Jahmyr Gibbs now. I think that's great. I think they'll bounce back just fine this season. I think they're in the same boat as the Chiefs where they just had to take a season off, honestly.
The one thing I gotta say about this is I haven't seen the Packers or Bears pop up yet, and I have a feeling the Lions are better than both of them. So I like 11, but I don't think the Bears or Packers should be above them.
I think the NFC North fans in this picks might have gotten a little crazy personally. Baltimore Ravens at 10. I think Jesse Minter is immediately going to make that defense crazy good like he did for the Chargers. They get Trey Hendrickson, which now that Ravens Bengals game is going to be even crazier personally. Getting Zion Young, another great draft pick. Lamar Jackson will bounce back. Derrick Henry will bounce back. Last year they just struggled. There was several moments on coaching. I don't know if Harbaugh lost the room or not. Who knows? Obviously he's on a different team now and they have Jesse Minter, young stud head coach. But we'll have to see. 10 feels a little low.
I agree. I don't got much to say about Baltimore.
Fair enough. 9, Bears. This is insane. They had a phenomenal year last year. I think if you take the law of averages, I think that was a better year than most people expected. Given Caleb Williams on multiple weeks had like 1 of 1 throws to win a game. 9 is insane out of 32 teams for the Bears, in my opinion. Ben Johnson did a phenomenal job with that team. They lost some key pieces in free agency. I would be very impressed if they did this again this season. I genuinely think they are going to have a rough go at it this upcoming season with how well it went last year.
It's going to be a coming to earth season for sure. And I believe when it was Detroit, maybe a couple of years ago, Dan Campbell said, like, now that we're on their radar, it's going to be a lot harder to get back to where we were. Now that people are aware that the Bears are going to be prepping for them more because everyone thought, once again, the Bears were going to be the Bears last year. So
yeah.
There's going to be more eyes on the Bears. They said they lost some key pieces. The division's going to be tougher. I don't know, too high. I still think they could be a decent team. I just don't think they're
15.
top 10 team in the league. Yeah.
Yeah. Dylan Thieneman, getting him in the draft, also a steal. They will be happy with him. 49ers, the tale is old as time. Will they stay healthy this season, or will the electrical plant win in a third-round bout? Who knows? If they stay healthy, top 3 team. If they're not healthy, all bets are off. I mean, not having Brandon Ayuk does nothing to your team. They will be fine. Losing Jawan Jennings, tragic. But you also get Mike Evans. It's like, okay, so did you really... Jawan Jennings had some crazy weeks last season, and Brock Purdy's legit, and they get Christian Kirk. I mean, I kind of see that as a parallel move, losing Ayuk, who didn't play, and losing Jawan Jennings, and getting Mike Evans and Christian Kirk. It's the same problems. Do they stay healthy or not? Mixed with Ricky Pearsall, I think they're going to be a good team still. It's just going to be a matter of staying healthy.
The electrical plant will be gnawing at Mike Evans' hamstring.
If Mike Evans gets hurt in San Francisco, there will be an investigation.
Yes.
7 for the Packers.
Too high again.
Too high. The NFC North will cannibalize itself at the best. I don't see exactly how the Packers should be this high. I've been low on the Packers for years now. I just don't get how ESPN is constantly putting them in these rankings that high. I don't know. I don't even know what else to say. They had some injury problems. Jordan Love has looked good and bad a lot of the time. They might have had a good draft. I don't know much more than that. I'm at a loss.
Yeah, I don't got much to say about it. It's just, as you said, I think it's way too high.
New England Patriots, the old Rossini-Vrabel trick. Still new news coming out about that every day. Hashtag the boat, allegedly. But Patriots being at 6, fair. They had a very good schedule last year for them, favorable. I guess, they kind of get to test that this season. According to this, 12th easiest schedule based on forecast win totals. They only got better. And to be honest with you, I think Drake May is legit. Stephon Diggs being gone won't do much, and we'll have to see. I mean, you're in a division with 2 of the worst teams in football and one of the best other teams in football being the Bills. They'll be tested. They'll be tested more this season. And they'll get a chance to prove, after all of it being last year was our easy schedule.
I think the Patriots, honestly, I think they're going to regress a little bit. As you said, more coming down to earth year. I still think they're going to be good. I still think they're a playoff team, but top 6 in the league right now, I don't think so.
I would agree with that. Philadelphia Eagles. Drafted Mekhi Lemon. The A.J. Brown allegations after June 1st, July 1st are still looming. I don't think that sets them back too much, to be honest, with how he performed last year and how the Eagles did as a team. I think getting Dallas Goedert back smart. I think they made a lot of smart moves because I think it's Howie's the GM of the Eagles will
Yep.
always be a genius when it comes to who to sign and who not to sign. I think top five for the Eagles is fair, to be honest. I think they might regress a little bit. I think that might be a Jalen Hurts bias on my part. But that GM knows how to sign players, and Sirianni knows how to coach a football team most of the time. Last year, to me,
Unfortunately,
felt
I
more like
agree
an
with you.
anomaly. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I do agree with you. I feel like it's like the Chiefs in my head, where they're just going to be
Yeah.
dominant for the next couple of years still. Like, I don't
They're
know.
experienced. I don't think that's a
Yeah.
crazy thing to say. They had a rough year at it last year, and I think, frankly, they'll be just fine. But I'm not preying on downfalls, but I am acknowledging them. Buffalo Bills at 4. Still can't make it to the Super Bowl after only having to get through the Patriots and the Broncos. They get better. I think the Bills once again will be good. I don't know if you're a Bills fan how you feel. Obviously, they had to address those third down efficiency last season. Joey Bosa doesn't sound like he's signing back this very second, but they do get C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I think that's smart. They put a lot of draft picks in their defense, and that's exactly what you have to do. I don't think the defense was necessarily the biggest problem on that team, but it was definitely a looming problem for that team.
Yeah, they did get more
For
too, right? Or am I
They might
crazy?
have.
I could
Who
be
are you?
wrong.
Which more?
DJ Moore? Or am I
Yes, from
crazy?
the
Yeah.
Bears.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So good offensive signing, especially after Keon Coleman. Is that who was
Yeah.
randomly sitting out last season?
Yes.
I think one of the wide receivers was. But you still have Kincaid and you still have Knox. They'll be okay.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Broncos at 3. Hot take. Don't love it. Don't believe in it. Their defense is still going to be really good. They signed back a lot of the good players on defense, but they also lost someone in free agency on their defense. Cortland Sutton? No. Someone. I can't remember. Don't quote me on that. I can't remember the corner that retired last week. But Jalen Waddle on offense is huge for a team that could only go up. Bo Nix got hurt at the end of last season. He'll probably be fine. I know the pictures of the ankle injury kind of went viral because his leg looked like it was bent in the picture. I'm sure they'll be A-okay. Sean Payton's back in his bag, has a team that he loves. They'll be good. 3 overall doesn't feel
It feels
realistic.
too hot. I feel like it's the Patriots again, the sophomore slump. All these rookie quarterbacks had a really good starting year, but now there's going to be more eyes on them, more prep for them,
Yeah.
and they can expect the Denver Broncos are coming. So I feel like you have to drop them a little bit, but because I don't know, that
I'd
just
say
feels
top
too
10.
high. I say top 10 for sure, playoff team, but that's tough.
Three feels like you're giving too much away for the Bills, but also the Broncos did beat the Bills in the playoffs,
That's true. I don't know.
right? Or no, the Broncos beat the Patriots and lost to someone else.
No,
No, I I,
Patriots beat
I don't know.
the.
I fucking give up, man. My brain's distraught. Rams number 2, that's fair. They're going to be a tremendous team per normal. They got some great corners in the offseason from the Chiefs. They do get what was his name? The quarterback in the draft from Alabama. Their first round
Ty
pick.
Simpson? No.
Yeah, they
T.Y.
drafted
Simpson?
Ty
Yeah.
Simpson first overall. Interesting. Aside from that, Devontae Adams, Puka Nakua, they're both getting healthy, mentally or physically. I think the Rams are still going to be the Rams.
I think
That's
the
going to be a
Rams are the
dangerous team.
best team in the league overall. They're the most sound team, complete team in the league right now. And I think it's hard to bet against Sean McVay as well. That team's just
Yeah,
stacked, I feel like. As long as
they
Puka
are. And
Nakua stops doing dumb stuff, they'll be fine.
yeah, exactly. And Seahawks, number 1, won the Super Bowl. I guess you can place them here until the first week of the NFL season starting. I I love Sam Darnold. I'm not saying I want him to see it do it again because he put JSN over the moon, but they lost a lot of pieces after the Super Bowl, and I think they're going to be really good again. And I would love to see them repeat that for a second time.
I don't think they're one though. I think, as you said, they got picked apart as soon as they won that. Their players leaving
Yeah,
left and right. Their star player was Kenneth Walker. So Kenneth Walker
yeah,
being gone, it's gonna be big shoes to fill. A bunch of defensive players are gone now. They're going to be
They did
good
get that
still.
running
I
back.
still think they're going to be that many more.
I agree. I think there's some fairness to that. I put them top 5.
I agree with that.
They won the Super Bowl. They did their thing, and now they just need to do it some more. And it's Sam Darnold, and he's beat the allegations. So with as long as he has JSN and Bobo, he should be okay.
The
But we'll have
goose
to see what
hunter.
happens. Yes, the Lord Almighty. But all right, this ended up being a much longer episode than I thought. Good call, Matt. We can't talk NFL without it lasting 50 minutes. All right, damn it. Well, thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next week on the Coy Pond. Peace.